I mean, it's a open book. You can start writing your book any way you want to, and you can never make a mistake. You know, I'm a farm girl. Just give me a pair of jeans and a T-shirt and a hat, and I'm good to go.
If you're going to be modeling something with feathers, you want it to be on the bird you're holding, not necessarily all over your outfit.
Yes, yep, that's it. And now I know I want to live in Montana, and I want to hunt elk for the rest of my days. So I'm going out here and doing all this traveling and getting to hunt all these animals, but I'm still struggling and trying to learn daily myself.
Hey y'all, this is Niki Tilley, and you are listening to Living Country in the City, episode 13.
Y'all ready for your dose of flyover state spirit? Straight from the concrete jungle? Well, put down your latte and pull on your boots. It's time for Living Country in the City.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Living Country in the City. I really appreciate y'all that are listening in week after week. Make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever y'all are listening from. And if you've been liking these episodes, make sure to give me a good rating. Helps the podcast continue to grow and allows me to continue talking with all of these awesome guests and sharing their stories and advice with you. Also, if you enjoy the podcast and would like to help support Living Country in the City, please take a moment to visit livingcountryinthecity.com/Amazon. Bookmark the link and use it whenever y'all are doing your Amazon shopping. That's livingcountryinthecity.com/Amazon. Now, today I'm getting a chance to talk with Niki Tilley. If y'all aren't familiar with Niki, she's not only an experienced model, but an avid hunter, fisher, and outdoorswoman. And starting Thursday, May 11th, you'll be able to catch her on the new outdoor channel series, Miss Wildgame. Niki, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
So, really quick, for those of my listeners who aren't as familiar with you, why don't you give me just a quick introduction on, you know, who you are and maybe, you know, your history with, a little bit of your history with hunting and the outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Niki Tilley from North Carolina. I've lived here my whole life. Grew up on a farm with my grandparents and my mom. Always been a farm girl, milking the cows in the morning, to riding horses, to barrel racing, rodeo. And my grandpa, we've always been huge in the outdoors. He's actually who started me with the shooting guns in the pasture and getting me used to it and taking me hunting. And so he introduced me to everything that I know today. To deer hunting, to turkey hunting, to fishing. He was actually with me when I shot my first deer. And so it's just, I just can't thank him enough and my grandparents and mom for teaching me everything that I know.
So how old were you when you shot your first deer?
I was 12 years old.
Man, I'm 34 and I'm still working on it.
Oh. Yeah, it was, I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday. We have a lot of cow pastures here, and we was actually in one of our cow pastures, and it was just like, we had about, like, I think it was like 7 deer that came out, and 1 buck came out. The rest were does. And so I actually shot the buck for my first deer, which is awesome.
Now, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. But, and so I've always modeled as well, but I've always kept them separate. But I've always had this dream of, I want to walk in a Bass Pro or an outdoor store and see my poster on the wall in camo. And because I'm tired of modeling like all these crazy outfits and these dresses and heels. And I'm like, this is not me. I don't like these type of clothes. You know, I'm a farm girl. Just give me a pair of jeans and a T-shirt and a hat, and I'm good to go.
If you're going to be modeling something with feathers, you want it to be on the bird you're holding, not necessarily all over your outfit.
Yes, yep, that's it. And but so a couple years ago, I actually, like, I kind of just found out how to do it, and I just started doing it. Like, it's so weird how it all happened because I really don't know how it happened. I I mean, it just all came together out of nowhere. And so now I am combining my love for the outdoors and the country lifestyle and hunting with my modeling from doing hunting shows, which is freaking awesome.
Well, and so that kind of brings up what we were talking about before the show. You are about to air on a brand new, I don't know if it's a brand new TV show or if it's been going on. I'll let you tell me a little bit more about it, but coming up as of the time the show airs, coming up this coming Thursday, you're going to be on Miss Wildgame. Is that correct?
That is correct. I am one of the girls. There's 2 other girls that's on the show with me. Such great girls. It will be airing on the Outdoor Channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time this Thursday. And this is the biggest thing I think that has ever happened. Just my whole life. I mean, I've done music videos and all kinds, but this just, I think, tops them all. And I was actually watching the Outdoor Channel last night, and I saw the Miss Wildgame commercial, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. But so it's a new series, and this is like the first time ever that somebody has taken these Insta-famous huntress girls off the internet and actually put them to the test. Matt Bustus actually messaged me. He DM'd me on Instagram, and I did not know who Matt was when he messaged me. Okay. And I get messages all the time from random people, random guys, and some of them I'm just like, are they creeping on me again, or what is this? And
well, I can only imagine. I can see pretty much everything you post. I can count a good 5 or 10, at least marriage proposals, and those are probably the most mild that I see on there sometimes. So I can only imagine what kind of private messages you get on social media.
Yes, I would definitely say that the marriage proposals are the most mild. They could go from 1 to 10. You never know, but. So I had no clue who Matt was. I had no clue about nothing. And I actually had to Google him and see if this was true. Like, I get offers a lot. Come out here and we'll film a show. We'll do this. I've talked to producers in LA about shows, even had some come out and film pilots here on my farm for shows. And I'm like, oh, this is just another one of those. Like, this ain't going to go nowhere. This is just a waste of my time. Mm-hmm. But I Googled Matt, and I started just kind of talking to some friends. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I think this is pretty legit. Like, this sounds pretty cool. I was extremely nervous because I've never met not a single one of these people that is going to be there. Never met Matt. And then I find out that the competition is the hunting part of it. We're going to be shooting crossbows. And I recently just got into archery, and that was the first time I've ever shot a crossbow was on the show. And because I just got a compound like that Christmas before, and till this day. And so I'm like, I got to shoot a crossbow for a competition.
They're just trying to throw you in, see what you can do without any practice, huh? It seems like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, me and the other 2 girls promote ourselves daily, all 24/7 about how we hunt and we're in the outdoors and we do this and we do that. But, I mean, I've never shot a crossbow. That don't mean I'm not a good hunter or I'm not a hunter. It's just I've always shot guns all my life. My grandpa raised me shooting guns, and he's not a fan of archery. So I've always just stuck with the guns, and until the last year and a half, 2 years now.
Okay. So what actually inspired you to get into archery? What got you on that train?
Just watching everybody. My friends kept, like, of course it seems like everybody does it. All my friends do it, and they're like, you really need to try this. It's fun, and it's a whole different ball game to hunting instead of having a gun in your hand when you're hunting. And just watching Eva Shockey and Cameron Haynes, I absolutely adore them, and I look up to them so much. And I'm just like, so all Cam hunts with is bows, and I'm like, he's really good. Mm-hmm. And he's so passionate about it and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I think I am going to give this a try, because I was always limited to just hunting with guns. Our gun season, like here at home, is so much later. Like, I only shot rifle. So I'd have to wait until mid-November for rifle season to actually start here in my town in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. When if I would have shot bow, then that starts in like September here. And so I'm missing out on all these months of good hunting just because I'm limiting myself to only using one weapon. And so I wanted to be more versatile. I wanted to learn more about a different way of hunting. And so I've been learning ever since.
Yeah, it really does. It probably more than doubles your hunting season, gives you a lot more access depending on where you are to different tags and different locations. And some places it's just a whole lot easier to travel with a bow sometimes than a rifle. And it does. It opens up a whole lot, and a lot of over-the-counter tags that you might not be able to get with a rifle. So
yes, absolutely.
It's there's just something fun about it, shooting that bow. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love shooting a rifle. I was shooting rifles long before I ever picked up a bow, and so I love rifles. But ever since I picked up a bow, I can't go back. I'm addicted to it. I'm absolutely obsessed. So I know exactly what you mean. So you they're having you all do the hunting with crossbows then?
Yes, and we also are doing, it's not just hunting. Like, he's putting us to the test, like, with what we know. Like, there's several different competitions, and I mean, we have a fishing competition and seeing if we can actually fish, because I mean, most of us, I think, or I'm not sure about Shannon, but I think me and Liberty, like, I promote on my page that I fish. So, of course, he's going to see if I can really fish. Yeah. So, I mean, and we have kinds of other competitions that is just stuff that you would do in the outdoors in a hunting situation, or maybe preparing for your next hunt or whatever. Like, he seriously, like, picked us three, and I don't know what made him pick us, because there's so many, like, just awesome girls out there that are big huntresses and girls who love to fish and love the outdoors. And he picked us three, and we've never met each other at all. I knew Shannon from social media. I knew her from Instagram. I think we followed each other, but I had actually never heard of Liberty. And so we meet for the first time ever on this show, and we're put in the ranch house there in Alla, Louisiana, for an entire week of competing and hunting and craziness.
So you guys walk away good friends, or?
Yeah, we actually, like, we will message each other every now and then just to, they are such awesome. Like, I'm younger than both of them, I'm 23 years old, and I definitely look up to both of them in different ways. They're both just super sweet girls, and I feel that they represent huntresses worldwide and outdoor and girls just extremely well, and they are a great role model for anybody looking to get in the outdoors or just anybody. I just love them to death, and we definitely do keep up with each other on social media because we are really far apart. He literally took us from all parts of the world. Liberty's in Texas, and Shannon is in Iowa, I think. Okay.
Well, and it's interesting because I follow actually all three of you. I follow all three of you on Instagram, and I really think y'all kind of represent different aspects, especially of the female hunting community. Y'all are come at it in kind of different ways to where I feel like you have a lot more of the kind of the country aspect of it, and that southern charm, and you have Liberty, who's very I don't want to say political, but she's very focused on, she's kind of a big gun girl, and it's very USA kind of feel to it, and Shannon is kind of the more backcountry feel to a lot of the stuff she posts, and it's just very different perspectives, and it gives a really great gamut of the female hunting community. And not to say that all y'all don't represent those different aspects as well, but y'all's focus just comes from I feel like different directions, and it's really really cool to see all of you come together like that, just to show that full spectrum of people.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree. When I look at Liberty, I see like she's a gun girl. That's all she does, and that is so awesome. And she is like, definitely, when you think of somebody who's proud to be an American, it's Liberty. And
well, with a name like that, I don't think you can get away with it with anything but.
I know. But she is extremely awesome, and it's funny because she had actually never, she's not into bow hunting. And so I was like, whew, okay, at least I got one other girl that's not familiar with bow hunting really like me. But you got Shannon over here who is actually a big bow hunter. I think she only hunts with compounds mostly. So I think she wasn't as familiar with the crossbow, but I did feel like she had a little bit of an edge on us because she was more familiar with archery. And so I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to be picking up my my subscription to the Outdoor Channel, and you have a code. I've seen you post about it for a free trial for the Outdoor Channel, right?
Yes, you can get a free trial, the MOTV app, Outdoor Channel app. You can, if you use my name, Niki, Niki, you get a free trial. And you can literally be sitting in the stand. You can be in the car. Say you're just at Walmart and you can't make it home in time. You can sit in your car in the parking lot and watch Miss Wildgame or any other shows that they have on their app on your phone, which is awesome.
And I'll make sure to post up that information and links to everything where people can view it, and just get that code listed up on the show notes page, and that'll be at livingcountryinthecity.com/13 for episode 13. So we'll get that posted up so people can go right there. On that note, let's take a quick moment to hear a word from one of our partners. Hey y'all, if you're like me, a new elk hunter really trying to up your game and get into backcountry big game hunting, or if you're an experienced hunter trying to fill tags more consistently, you really need to check out elk101.com's University of Elk Hunting online course. If you're looking for a central resource to really take you all the way from start to finish when it comes to big game hunting, this is it. Corey Jacobson is a world champion elk caller and one of the definitive experts when it comes to elk hunting. And in this online course, he shares over 30 years of his elk hunting experience, strategies, and tips. All of this is broken down into easy to digest modules and packed full of great video content as well. This will provide you with all of the resources you need to be a confident elk hunter, regardless of your past experience. What's even better is you can get $20 off the University of Elk Hunting online course by visiting livingcountryinthecity.com/partners. That's livingcountryinthecity.com/partners. So we got Miss Wildgame. What else are you looking forward to this year? Any exciting hunts planned? Anything else exciting going on that we should expect to see from you?
Yeah, so I've always got some exciting hunts coming up, which I'm extremely blessed. Everybody's like, oh, you're so lucky. And I'm like, no, I'm not lucky. I'm blessed. Yep. Because I have worked so hard to get where I'm at today. And I continue to bust my butt daily to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing and being able to hunt and do what I enjoy. But so this weekend, I am actually going to Washington State with one of my best friends, Bo Lyons, with Dirty Birdie Off-Road Productions, to hunt Merriam's, which will be my last turkey. It'll be 4 out of 4 for my single season Grand Slam.
All right.
That's going to be so huge if I actually can get a bird up there in Washington, and I'm praying I do, because it's funny. I've turkey hunted for several years, but I've actually missed, and then I wouldn't ever have the opportunity to go back. And so this year was the first year that I ever actually killed a turkey. And so not only have I killed one, I've got, I think it's 5 now in like 5 different states. And I got 2 Easterns, and then I got my Osceola, and I just got my Rio in Texas. And so now I'm going after my Merriam, and I'm going to complete the Grand Slam, and I just got my first turkey this year. That's incredible to me.
I'd say that's definitely an achievement right there. And welcome to the West Coast. We'll all be rooting for you over here. So,
well, thank you. I've actually never been that way. I've never been to Washington. I have been to Montana, which I love it out there. And I know he's not far from Montana, apparently. But I've never been to Canada, and I actually have never even been to California, and that's where you live, right?
I'm right in Southern California, right in the middle of Los Angeles. So
that's awesome. I will, here in a couple weeks, me and my family will actually be making our 3rd annual trip to the Grand Canyon. We'll hike like 20-some miles and camp in the middle of it and everything, but we're going to leave from the Grand Canyon and go to like Mammoth Lake, California.
Okay, yeah.
And Lake Tahoe, and we're going somewhere else, but it'll be my first time actually exploring in California, so I'm so excited.
Well, we are happy to have you over here, and you'll have to let me know when you come out. So if I'm anywhere near, I'll come say hi.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
What would be your once in a lifetime hunt? Now, if you could go on any hunt, you've done deer, you're going on your turkey Grand Slam, but what's your dream hunt that you're anything in the world that you would want to do if you could go on any hunt?
Okay, my dream hunt. So I would say a big top of the list, which I'm actually going to be able to do. It's in the works, planning right now. It's a trip to Africa, and I actually get to take my grandpa and my mom with me and hunt all kinds of crazy animals I've never even saw or heard of there. So that's a big one coming up in the next year. But one that was these are it's hard to pick one. Elk.
That's a true hunter right there.
You asked me for one, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, there's this one and there's this one. But so I love elk. I actually got the chance to hunt elk in Montana back in November. I was not successful on getting an elk, but I was successful at learning so much and just completely changing my life. And now I know I want to live in Montana and I want to hunt elk for the rest of my days.
You're starting to sound like me now. That's you're stealing my dream here.
But my number one bucket list hunt right now would be a grizzly bear in Alaska.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is, yeah, I've never been to Alaska. I'm a mountain girl. I live here in the mountains in North Carolina. I'm a cold weather person, believe it or not. If there's snow there, I'm excited. And so I would pick going somewhere with snow and mountains over going to the beach. So I've never been. I really want to go. I've been told once I go, I will not want to come back. And that's fine with me.
Well, you're talking to a Southern California boy here. I grew up on the beach, and I'll tell you, however nice the weather is out here, I would give anything for a place where with mountains and snow. So I'm very jealous.
Oh wow! And see, I did not know that California. This is probably dumb, but because I didn't know it was as beautiful as it was. I didn't even give it the time of day to be on a list of places to go until I actually sat down and Googled Mammoth Lakes and Lake Tahoe and all these places. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like Montana. I got to go.
Oh yeah. There's, one of the things people don't realize, and I talk to a lot of people and, I'll talk to them about backcountry hunting and a lot of things is we have an insane amount of public lands out here in California. It's more than a lot of states that you'd expect. And the hunting isn't always the best on the lands out here, but it's it's a lot of the good spots tend to get crowded and it's just not as conducive of a place and an environment to hunting with our political leanings out here at times. But yeah, there are so many beautiful places. Somewhere else you might want to check out is there's an area called the Sequoia National Forest in Kings Canyon.
Okay.
That's I've been going there. Gosh, pretty much with the exception of a few years in college. I've been going there every year since I was about 3 years old. And it's just, it's got the giant sequoia and redwood trees, beautiful waterfalls and mountains and, lakes out there. I used to, that's where I learned to fish, caught my first fish as a kid is out at a place called Hume Lake. It's a Christian camp up there that my family's always been going to. We'd rent a cabin and wake up early. And I had way back in the day, had my little youth fishing pole and pulled something probably smaller than the palm of my hand out of the stream. But that's where I learned to fish, and my dad.
That is so
brother,
awesome.
So there's a lot of great places, and a lot of people think California, and they immediately think Los Angeles, San Francisco and San Diego, and it's they're beautiful spots down here too. We got beautiful beaches and even just up like Lake Castaic an hour away from me is gorgeous. But I mean,
Wow.
it's got nothing on a lot of these places, and even our desert locations. Like, you go out to Joshua Tree. Oh man, I just spent several days in Joshua Tree, and it's incredible out there. I spent 3 days just backpacking around Joshua Tree before going out to the desert for work, and the sunsets are mind blowing, and the rock formations and the wildlife and everything is incredible. So I have to remind myself that it's out there. And,
yes, you just got to go find it.
It may be a little bit longer of a drive for me. It's not quite right outside my backyard, but it's definitely there. So then that's a lot of the purpose of this whole podcast and my Instagram is just to kind of show everybody what's available, and how living in the city isn't necessarily gonna limit you as far as wanting to do these things like hunting and fishing and backpacking and camping and listening to country music and all this stuff in the outdoors. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great thing that you're doing that, because like I said, I actually follow this girl on Instagram. She's a big traveler and going to all these beautiful places, and that's how I found out about Mammoth Lakes and Lake Tahoe. It's because of her post. And I'm like, because my mom's like, well, after the Grand Canyon, let's just go to California because it's pretty close. And I'm like, California? Really? And I'm seriously sitting here Googling, I was like, I wonder how far Jackson Hole is from the Grand Canyon or Wyoming, and because I love it out there. Or I was like, I wonder how far this place is in Montana, how far that's from. But then once I saw this girl post these pictures in California, I'm like, okay, now we're talking.
Well, and we've got some really unique stuff out here. We have our own, basically our own breed of elk out here, Tilley elk.
Wow.
They're smaller than some of the other, the Rocky Mountain variety and stuff, but they kind of live out on a few of these islands, and they're more in almost like, I guess, swampy kind of ground, and so there's a lot of unique stuff out here. And I mean, I spent a little bit of time in the South and actually just visiting, and the one thing that it reminds me of is my folks moved up to Northern California, and people forget that there's a whole half of the state up above Sacramento, and it really reminds me a lot of the South, a lot of the smaller towns, and just how people tend to interact with each other, and little downtown areas that you can walk around and enjoy, and so I was really surprised when I went to the South and how familiar it felt from when I go up and visit my folks. But yeah, people tend to forget that we're not all city out here. So
yeah, that's really awesome, and I'm definitely going to be hitting you up for some more places to add to my list to go, because some of those places you said I actually want to look into more. So that's awesome.
A lot of beautiful stuff out here, and I will definitely give you any tips that I can for visiting. But
awesome.
Well, so before we start winding it down, once again, the podcast is about a lot of it's about reaching out to folks like myself in the city who may have thought like, oh, I like this. I like the idea of hunting, and shooting guns or shooting my bow. It interests me, but it's kind of a weird thing to do in the city. I'm not sure how to do it, how to get into it, or even just new hunters anywhere who want to get into it more and learn more about it. Do you have any tips or any advice or any just kind of words of encouragement for people that may be looking to get their start in hunting?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're just looking, just now starting out, it's help is out there. Like, just get out there, go to your local outdoor store. It don't have to be a Bass Pro. It could be just your little handyman store down the road. Get out there, go talk to people, just start hiking. Because, I mean, hiking is part of what we do as hunters and outdoorsmen. Like, you're constantly making moves on the ground. Go out there and talk to people. First off, I would say find out what you would like to get interested in. Is there a certain animal? Do you want to do archery? Do you want to do guns? I mean, it's a open book. You can start writing your book any way you want to, and you can never make a mistake. You can always fix it and go back and do it and everything. Definitely don't give up because, like I said earlier, I am new to archery hunting. I would say about 1.5 to 2 years now, I've been trying to learn it, and I do get discouraged, and I have little confidence, and I'm still trying to work on that daily. So I'm going out here and doing all this traveling and getting to hunt all these animals, but I'm still struggling and trying to learn daily myself. So don't ever worry if you feel like you can't do something, because you can. We all struggle with something. We're all constantly learning. So just get out there, do it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do something. If you want to go hunt something, if you want to go fish a certain type of fish or whatever, get out there, do it. There's resources. Look online, the internet, Instagram, like Eva and Cameron Haynes and the Bowmars. I love them, Sarah and Josh Bowmar. Go look at them. Look at what they're doing. I mean, it's so much help out there for whatever you like to do, and so much inspiration to keep you going in those moments that you do get discouraged.
That is fantastic advice right there. You know, thank you.
I could go on and on, honestly, but yeah, I love it. I'm so passionate about the outdoors and what I do, and I want to help people, and so it's never a wrong time or place to start trying to pursue what you love.
No, that is absolutely fantastic advice. And I know that's definitely something all my listeners need to keep in mind. So if people wanted to follow you online, reach out on socials, where's the best place where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me everywhere online.
All the places. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All of my social media handles are the same. They're all at Niki Tilley 10. And I have a website, nikitilley.com. You can go there as well. And shoot me a message, comment on my picture. I try my best to reply back to everybody that reaches out to me. So I will do my best to get back to you and help you as much as I can. Well, fantastic. And I'll definitely make sure to grab all of those and post them up on the show notes page so people can find them real easy. Just a reminder, that'll be livingcountryinthecity.com/13 for episode 13. But, well, Niki, thank you so much for hopping on the call today and sitting down to record this episode. I know I will definitely be tuning in on Thursday to watch that first episode of Miss Wildgame, and I hope everyone else listening will as well.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for having me. It has been an absolute blast.
Well, we will have to do another one soon, so.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all, that'll do it for episode 13 of Living Country in the City. Make sure you catch Niki and Miss Wildgame on the Outdoor Channel starting Thursday, May 11th. Don't forget that you can get a free trial of the My Outdoor TV app using the code Niki. That's Niki. You can find links for the show and all of Niki's social pages by visiting our show notes page at livingcountryinthecity.com/13. That's livingcountryinthecity.com/13. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share these episodes with your friends. And in the meantime, stay country, y'all.
Thank y'all for listening to Living Country in the City. Get show notes and check out the blog, product reviews, events, and more at livingcountryinthecity.com.